Hello, students. You are welcome to the 8th topic of today of this course, Edu321 Psychology of Learning. Today we are treating the topic of memory, remembering, and forgetting. Memory is the ability of someone to recall a previously learned material or information. If you learn a body of knowledge and you fail to remember it, it means you have forgotten, and some factors must have been responsible for this. In this lesson, we're going to learn about the concept of memory. We're going to learn the reasons why learners sometimes forget what they have learned, what we have taught them, and also discuss how we can help learners remember what they have learned. You will learn the concepts of memory, different types of memory, and the mechanisms that operate in them. Strategies for enhancing memory. It's well loaded, as you can see. So sit back and enjoy it. Yeah, memory, remembering, and forgetting. At the conclusion of this lesson, you'll be able to define memory, remembering, and forgetting. You'll be able to discuss types of memory and strategies for enhancing the storage of memories. You'll be able to discuss the causes of forgetting, and you'll be able to discuss the ways teachers can enhance, what the teachers can do to enhance memory in students. So, let's try to concepts of memory here. Memory is the ability to acquire and retain information and recall it when needed. If you are to later use what you have learned, you will not in memory. Without good memory, one will not be able to retain previous learning. Therefore, memory is fundamental for remembering and forgetting. That's why the three concepts are lumped together. So one is fundamental to the other. Types of memory. We are going to look at the two major types of memory and the mechanisms that operate in them. The two major types of memory are short-term memory and long-term memory. We take the short-term memory first. Short-term memory. When a piece of information is acquired, it is placed in the short-term memory. This is the first place of call for any information, any piece of information that you receive. This piece of information must be properly processed, otherwise such information dies off. And plus, it becomes increasingly difficult for individuals to remember or recall such an idea. You will get to know why this happens, why you need to properly process any information that comes to your short-term memory. Otherwise, that information dies off. The short-term memory is limited in both the length and the amount of information it can hold. So that is the reason. The short-term memory is limited in both duration and the capacity of what it can hold. It can store information temporarily for 20 minutes, for 20 seconds, for 20 seconds. And unless the receiver of the information acts on it, treat it, process it, the information is quickly lost. In terms of the storage capacity, the short-term memory is also limited. It can only hold a small amount of information at a time, no more than 9 items at a time. Any item above this capacity is thrown away. For instance, name of a person you just met. Maybe you just met, you're driving and you met a friend, an old friend on the road who is also maybe walking, just taking a walk, and you are driving, and your friend just sent you the his phone number. His phone number, mind you, Nigerian phone number of 11 digits. The phone number, and while you are driving, and you don't want to disrupt your driving to maybe start saving the number on the phone. So the person calls that number 080 da, 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 080, and then you pick up that number and they try to process it. You try to process it by repeating it. 080, do this. You try to process it, perhaps until you get a safe place to park, for you to enter it into your phone or for you to write it down. 080, da, 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 08033, da, 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 da. So you try to repeat it. That's the only way you can save that number. Otherwise, it dies off. Otherwise, that number is gone. So because it's limited in the amount of information it can hold and the length of the information, the duration. So if you don't process that information fast, you're losing that information. Let's continue. Yes, the retention of information in the short-term memory can be disturbed by other events that take place shortly after the learned material. For instance, name of a person you just met remains in the short-term memory only momentarily. Yes, like I said, momentarily. Unless you treat it, it remains there momentarily. You treat it to give you enough time maybe to park well and then save it in your phone or write it down in a notepad so that you can make use of it when you get home. So to help make sure information is kept in short-term memory, you can use what we call um, uh, you can use memory enhancing strategies. Uh, one of which what we call maintenance rehearsal. You can use maintenance rehearsal. I've already described it. Maintenance rehearsal is a process of repeating information mentally or out loud with the goal of keeping it in memory. You are keeping that number in memory, you are repeating it, repeating the number given to you 0803444455566, 08034444556, repeating it so that the information doesn't get lost. But maintenance rehearsal is just temporarily maintaining the piece of information in the short-term memory, just temporarily maintaining it. Okay. So I hope you got all the points regarding the short-term memory. Yes. Okay, so all the while we have been discussing about short-term memory and ways in which we can keep information in the short-term memory. And we said one of the ways in which we can keep information in the short-term memory is by using what we call maintenance rehearsal. Maintenance rehearsal. Okay, now let's consider the long-term memory. Long-term memory can hold information over a long period of time. It's unlike the short-term memory. This one can hold information over a long period of time. And the storage capacity is large and has no limit, unlike the short-term memory. So in terms of duration and capacity, the long-term memory has no limit. For instance, remembering the content materials for your various courses. If you can imagine how you remember, you are able to remember all the content material for your various courses. So let's go on. Let's proceed with the concept of remembering. Oh, before then, let's pause your video a bit and then attempt this class activity. Differentiate between short-term and long-term memory. Okay, let's continue. Remembering and forgetting. Remembering is the ability to recall stored ideas or materials in the brain to the mind. Forgetting means the failure to retain what has been acquired or learned. If an individual fails to remember what he or she has learned in the past, it means the individual has forgotten. And why do you think the individual has forgotten? There are many reasons for that. There are many reasons why and how people forget what they have learned. This can be better understood with the aid of some theories of forgetting. Some theories of forgetting. So we are looking at the process of forgetting, and we will try and explain this with some theories of forgetting. The first there is the trace decay theory. This forgetting occurs. This explanation of forgetting, remember these theories are trying to explain why people forget, why they sometimes forget what they have learned. So this theory of forgetting assumes that that memories follow a certain pathway or trace in the brain. The theory states that forgetting occurs as a result of the automatic decay or fading of memory traces. After a relatively longer period of time, a piece of acquired information dies off. The memory dies off the memory, and an individual finds it difficult to remember it again. So that's a trace theory. Examples of this are experiences acquired in the earlier part of one's life, things that have occurred to you, experiences you have had at the earlier part of your life, depending on your age. So some of these earlier learned facts or information tend to go into extinction. That is the stand of the trace decay theory. The second one is the interference theory. Interference theory. This theory maintains that one may fail to remember a piece of information because other pieces of information are blocking or interfering with it. There are two ways in which interference can cause forgetting: the retroactive inhibition and the proactive inhibition. Those are the two ways in which interference can cause forgetting. For retroactive inhibition, this occurs when you forget a previously learned task due to the learning of a new task. Very easy. You forget what you have learned previously due to the learning of a new one going on that you are just learning. And the proactive one, the proactive inhibition, is just the opposite of the retroactive one. Here, the old learning retained in the memory works forward to interfere with the retention of something currently learned. You got that. Then let's look at the third or the third process. The third of the theory that explains how process of forgetting happen. How forgetting that explains the process of forgetting. The repression theory. The repression theory. How do they explain process of forgetting? The concept of repression was developed by Sigmund Freud as part of his psychoanalytic theory, as part of his psychoanalytic theory. So according to this theory, forgetting is a process whereby experiences that are unpleasant and unpalatable are pushed into the unconscious. Here, you are deliberate or you are intentional in forgetting certain experiences you have had because they happen to be unpleasant to you. It's something you don't want to remember. So you purposely push them into the unconscious mind. And because you want to forget the things you don't want to remember, you don't want to remember such of the experiences, so you intentionally push them into the unconscious mind. As a result of this, as a result of repression, you forget the things that you do not remember. For instance, you might want to forget about experiences that you want to push them to the unconscious mind. And it also happens that sometimes okay, so that explains the theory of repression. That explains that. So for retrieval failure theory, number 4 of the theories that explain the process of forgetting. Retrieval failure theory. This is the failure to recall information because the retrieval cues are not present. The retrieval cues are not present. Sometimes we want to record information, but we cannot due to non-availability of retrieval cues that were present at the time the information was encoded. Here, forgetting is very often a temporary rather than a permanent phenomenon because of the non-availability of retrieval cues. The information is available but cannot be retrieved. It's there, but you're thinking, oh, try to remember, try to remember. Okay, let me explain what retrieval cue means. For instance, if you propose to your partner when a certain song was playing on the radio, you will be more likely to remember the details of the proposal when you hear the same song again. The song is a retrieval cue. So that's an example of a retrieval cue. The song in that case, in that instance, is a retrieval cue. it was present when the information was included and retrieved. So anytime you remember that little song, or anytime you hear the same song again, you remember the details of your proposal. Okay, so another example, and sometimes it also does happens that sometimes we forget to recall a friend's name, but later under different conditions, the name also comes back more or less spontaneously. Oh, okay, that's the name. I was trying to remember, so at another time, at a different time, under different conditions. So that is at the initial time, at the first instance, probably there was no retrieval cues. So this retrieval failure theory is trying to explain the causes of failure because the retrieval cues are not present. They believe that once the retrieval cues are not present, when you are trying to recall a particular information, you won't be able to recall it at that moment. So these are the different theories that have explained the different causes of forgetting. So let's move forward. Let's look at the ways in which teachers can enhance memory. Enhancing memory. When we talk of memory, what we mean here is a long-term memory. Remember, long-term memory is where the real details of information are stored. Short-term memory are just temporary for processing information. They are just temporary. So when we say ways of enhancing memory, the memory that we mean here is the long-term memory. So use of elaborative rehearsal, one of the ways that you can help students enhance their memory. Use of elaborative rehearsal involves thinking about a piece of information more deeply and linking it with information already stored in the long-term memory in order to retain the newly learned information. Yeah, when you acquire a piece of information, you think about it, focus your attention on that information, and then try to link it with information already stored in the long-term memory. So it will also help in recalling that information when needed. Second one, each person has his or her unique way of, okay, not the second one, is elaborating on the first point. Each person has his or her unique way of elaborating on information. Yes, okay, the second way in which you can enhance your memory is of mental pictures. When a concept is associated with an object, the learner will quickly recall it. E.g., example, letter B as a ball. Whenever the learner comes across letter B, she can also visualize a ball. So, teach your students how to visualize concepts like creating mental pictures. The third point, okay, make use of mnemonic devices. A mnemonic is any learning technique that aids information retention or retrieval in the human memory. Here, a learner will use acronyms or an arrangement that makes the point meaningful to pronounce. For instance, let's see, a typical example is the arrangement of the characteristics of living things. I remember in those days, during my secondary school days, this particular example presented is that manager D to present the initials of the different characteristics of the M for movement, R for respiration, N for nutrition, I for irritability, G for growth, E for expression, and R for reproduction, and D for death. Mr. Michael D. So this will help the individual to recall it and retrieve it easily from memory. So, such example, such a strategy using the initials to remember or retrieve information is called mnemonic devices. The teacher is encouraged to make use of mnemonic devices. Teach your learners how to make use of mnemonic devices. And then another point is to make your subject matter meaningful and well organized. Meaningful material is easy to retain with the truth because it is better learned. Students should be taught things that are of interest and relevant to their experience. Another point is field trips, seeing things practically and going to data tend to remain permanent and remain there in the long-term memory and easy to remember when needed. There is another classroom activity. Yeah. Explain how a teacher can enhance memory in students. Yeah. Okay, so come to the end of the lesson. This lesson has discussed the types of memory and the mechanisms that operate in them. We also discussed the concept of remembering and forgetting and why people usually forget what they have learned and how they can remember what they are learning. This lesson will therefore assist both the learners and the teachers like on how to improve the status of their memory or forgetting. On that note, this is where we call it a day, and then meet again. Are we meeting again? Okay, so this lesson is the last of this facilitation exercise. So until next semester, when we meet with other groups of students, is bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you.